up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. Thanks for dropping by on our DROPCAST 1 year anniversary giveaway teaser. The actual giveaway will happen next week, so you gotta bear with me a little bit, and I'll tell you all about what's going to happen with this giveaway. I have a lot of cool stuff that we will go through tonight by different galleries that helped me out in this regard and gave me the chance to present you with some very cool art. And yeah, that makes me very happy to give back to the community, and especially thank you to you all that you came on the podcast, the people that came on the podcast, and also the ones that dedicated their time watching all our long ass videos. And yeah, I hope you guys have quite as much fun as I did throughout this year. And yeah, that there will be more stuff, and I have some cool stuff already on the back burner for you guys, so that's gonna come out soon. Some ideas that I try to do, and yeah, you know how it is all with time and all of that. And yeah, and to show some appreciation on your end, thank you for writing in chat happy anniversary, and it's really appreciated. Also appreciate is if you hit that like button, because you know the likes are the currency of YouTube and Instagram, of course. So yeah, that would help me to do more of this stuff, obviously. So hit those like buttons. It's very appreciated. Yeah, I've seen a couple familiar faces in there. Nade, she can't make it today, maybe, or maybe later, I don't know. Vaughn is in there. Mark, thank you for stopping by. Julian is here from the Facebook group, so I know you, buddy. Caesar always commenting here. That's very good to see. Tom Chester's Bay Framing in the house, so that's really cool. Really happy. Oh, there's Vittorio popping in. Good to see you guys. And glad that you could make it tonight on this Easter Saturday, basically. So I know a lot of people have families, and that it's going to be hard to like stay all the time, like the whole time during the podcast. But I hope at least I'll see you a little bit and have a good time with the people that will show up tonight. So I have to be. I'm a little bit distracted sometimes because I'm managing all this stuff, and like people writing me because our special guests. Like it's going to be like the open channel on Christmas. It's going to be a pop-in show. So and I will try to manage all of that. Vivian, thank you so much. Yeah, so I will have some guests today, as I said. I will keep it as a bit of a surprise, but I'm telling you, Moor Art is going to be in the house very soon, and I will show you who we will be talking to in a sec. Then we will have some stuff by Zavvi, and some special guests will also show up talking about the print that we will give away via Zavvi. We have Vice Press in the house later on. Spoke Art, Ken Harman is joining us, so that's a big surprise. I don't know if a lot of people know Ken, but he's a very good guy. I've met him in person, actually. One of the few people from this world I met in person, so that's kind of cool to see. Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you for joining as well. Thank you for the wishes. Then I talked to Brett Kreitz. I hope I pronounced that name right. But he's the founder or the CEO of Mad Dog Posters, and he was very kind to give us some cool posters for this giveaway. And I got a last minute cancel by Simon Hawes, who is the one half of Alternative Movie Posters, AMP Posters, and yeah, he couldn't make it tonight, but he was giving out some really cool posters that I can give you. So that's a really plus in my book. And yeah, we are about to start here. But before we're going to talk to the people that will join us here today, I want to give a shout out to a lot of people that also made this possible, like this podcast possible through over the year. I did a little like shout out thing around Christmas, but I want to take this time here again, so you know all who's making this podcast possible in some sort of way. First of all, I want to shout out to all the galleries: Bottleneck Gallery, Mondo, Moor Art, Vice Press, 1988, Spoke Art, Hero Complex, Pop Cult Art, Zavvi Gallery, Mad Dog Posters, AMP, Poster Spy. Also shouting out I Am 8-Bit. So a lot of people, and of course, like all the private shops, like the big cartel shops mostly, that give you the AP drops. So that's very good. Shout out to the artists that have been on here. Scott Soslow, we had Scott Soslow on. Raid 71, Greg Ruth, Ruiz Burgers, Printed in Blood. We had the Ghostbusters book in here. So doing something with Printed Blood as well, but more on that later. The Poster Posse, always very glad to have them on, and especially artists by the Poster Posse, so shout out to them as well. Doaly, Matt Griffin, Eileen Steinbach, aka SG Posters, Freya Betts, Vittoria Casanova, Sister Hyde, Araceli Munoz. Then we have Bella Grace, Chelsea Lowe, Sarah Deck, Paige Reynolds, Akiko Sternberger, Catherine Lamb, Ziju, Andy Fairhurst, Scott C., Matt Ferguson, Patrick Conan, Matt Taylor, Joshua Budick, Oliver Barrett, Royalston Design, Mexi Fong, Rory Kurtz, Attack Peter, Adam Stossard, Simon Hawes has been here, Sarah Deck, Matt Ryan Tobin, who's going to be on an interview podcast as well, Juan Ramos, then Phantom City Creative, Muragaya, who's also, he's going to be the next interview guest here, Muragaya. So yeah, Chris Bailey, thank you so much for the anniversary wishes. Eric Goslin, Rob Jones from Mondo, they have been on, thank you to them. Melvin Magoo, Gabs, 17th and Oak, James Henshaw, obviously, Florey, who's a good bud, Nan Lawson, who's been on the latest podcast. So a lot of people that helped out. And I want to give a special shout out to Javier. He has his own group on Facebook. It's the Pidgey, the Poster Buddy System. And I want to shout out also Bay Framing, again, Tom Chester's, who's been also a good friend. Then Gareth from Amp Jam. And last but not least, did I forget somebody? I hope not. And yeah, all the others that also come on the show and watch the show. So yeah, I'm just seeing Lucas Peveril in the chat here. Thank you, man. I hope I can do this for such a long time. Vaughn, do you think I keep that memory? That would be amazing, but not. I'm sorry. I got a list in front of me on my screen here, so I can read that out. But yeah, so I don't want to keep you from all the good guests that we're gonna have tonight, and they are very nice because I set this up as a Skype call, and they're already in the background, so they have to listen to me, and they're all watching and don't talk to each other, so I'm not getting distracted. So that's very nice to have them on. So I'm gonna pop over and present to you the couple guests. This is gonna be an active speaker kind of window that I have, so I don't have to put them all in there individually. I might do that later, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be necessary. But if we're gonna talk one after another, you will definitely get to know who's going to be on, and the people that maybe zone out when somebody has a monologue like me right now. You don't have to see in their faces how bored they are. But yeah, moving over, our first guest is one half of the what is the CEO? I think it's CEO, right, Kier? CEO? Are you both, James? You are CEO, right?
Yeah, I suppose we could call us that, yeah.
Yeah, so Kier Young is in the house, people. He's one half of Moor Art Gallery, and Kier, tell us a little bit something. What is your job with the Moor Art Gallery? Because yeah, Moor Art Gallery is doing a lot of cool stuff, and I want to look a little bit behind the scenes of what you have to offer, buddy.
Yeah, well, I realized that I should have come up with a better answer then, shouldn't I, for my job description as being part of Moor Art Gallery. But I just kind of think I'm just the guy that packs everything and gets to look at the prints when they send to James, and I go, ooh, nice. I like that. That's lovely. More of that, please, James. That's basically my job. And then I look at other artists as well, keep my eyes out and see if I can make good suggestions and what have you. But yeah, I mean, the past 6 months since we started Moor Art Gallery has just been like, I didn't realize how little I actually knew before I even got involved. So
I figured, yeah. So, I mean, I have to say, after this whole year, I know the scene, the ins and outs now. Like, I even from like artist perspective of what's happening, and also from gallery perspective, because I mean, everybody knows I do a lot of podcasting with James. But before we're gonna move over to James, I have one more question for you, because I got your rolled tubes basically, and your rolled prints, because I got the Stormtrooper. Which is amazing. So I wanted you to answer on, because you're doing something different with the sending out those tubes in terms of like what like kind of materials you use there. You're more environmental friendly, I'd say.
Well, yeah, that's always been a thing that I've been aware of since being at college as a kid. Was I had a teacher that was really into like ethically sourced materials.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, oh, he's really cool. And it had nothing to do with the actual environmental aspects. I just thought he was really cool. And I just sort of think that actually, if you can do something that people value, but you can do it ethically and sourced like responsibly, then you should do that. And you can, you should be the change you want to see. And when I get things come through the mail, or I open a tray of chicken or anything, and it's got a plastic that's going to be used once, I just think, why? What's the point? Like, this is just going to end up in some poor dolphin's blowhole, isn't it, ultimately? Yeah. Or, that's wrapped around the pill.
That's definitely not what we want. So, yeah, people, please take care of the environment. NFTs are a different topic on that, but do your research. I don't want to get into that right now because I want to celebrate the print world, obviously. And I want to talk to a second here to my release co-host, James Hobson. You're also part of the Moor Art Gallery, so let's hear, what is your job with Moor Art?
My job with Moor Art Gallery is, by the way, I want to say like Keir has kind of undersold his role. Firstly,
of course,
because Keir sorts out a lot of the licensing stuff. Basically the hardest stuff, all the boring stuff that you have to do at the gallery. That's what Keir does in the background and makes it run super smoothly. So I can just do all the fun stuff, which like talking to artists. The art, more on the art side, the art direction side, and then the front facing stuff, like marketing, social, the website, gallery, that kind of stuff, all the fun stuff. So yeah, Keir like undersold what he does at the gallery massively there. He's been sorting out. Yeah, he has to deal with like some really boring legal stuff with people over in Japan, and that's not easy. So go Keir is what I say.
Boring stuff with people in Japan. I'm going to come back to that because there's going to be a couple of questions on what boring stuff we are talking about. But you said you like to talk to the artist. How do you like to talk to one artist in particular that might or might not be coming on later? Matt Griffin. How good of a dude is he? Or was he drunk in your meeting?
Didn't really like to talk to Matt Griffin that much, to be honest. It was never easy with Matt. He's
what part?
Of all the arts, I mean, yeah, just all of it. He just made it quite difficult. I mean, we've worked with quite a few artists now, and Matt is probably one of the most difficult that I've worked with. It would be my worst nightmare if he was watching and like.
Yeah. Maybe he could chime in on that matter.
I hope not.
Well, what the fuck? Oh, hang on, can I curse? Actually, I'd like to counter that by saying James was one of the nicest and best art directors I've worked with. So he can say what he likes about me, but I had a wonderful experience working with Moor Art, and I hope it's the first of many.
I hope so too. What
Your face,
about?
Hobson.
I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, shoot, go.
I wanted to ask, how was it so far in terms of how would you describe the process? Is that a different process from other galleries? Is it more complicated, less complicated? How's it working with them?
From my point of view or from James's point of view? My point of view.
You can do both, I guess.
Well, from James' point of view, it was a dream to work with me because I'm extremely easy to work with. Having worked with art directors for 13 years, I'm like buttered lightning when it comes to making art with art directors. No, it was really enjoyable because like I would know James from his artwork and the kind of artist circles on Facebook and stuff already. And it was a really smooth process, wasn't it? It was like, it was the War of the Worlds book license. And so I went off and I got the book and I read it and I had some ideas and we talked them over. And
speaking of that, I just popped that up because the War of the Worlds is one of the giveaways that we're going to have for you guys out there. So, talk more about that, Matt, please.
Well, yeah, so like I say, it was the book license and I do a lot of work in publishing, so I'm very used to cover work for books and reading them and taking the bits of the story that I think will make an impactful image and kind of tell a story in one image. And I had a couple of ideas which I scribbled down in really loose thumbnails. Normally, I don't send scribbly thumbnails to clients. I like to work my roughs up because of the amount of times I've sent roughs to clients and they've said, "Oh, I mean, it doesn't really look like a hand." And you're like, "It's a fucking rough." So I tend to work my roughs up quite a lot. But in this case, I'm pretty sure, I can't quite remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure I would have sent really rough ideas over to James and we talked it over. Like at one point, I had a person in the foreground getting blasted by the death ray. And just stuff like that. We decided to take it out and let it breathe. And James has some good ideas and he was really easy to work with. It was fun.
Okay. So is there going to be a R-rated version of this poster?
No, this is it. The regular and the variant is it for this
okay.
for this poster. Actually, now that we're talking about it, I do recall there was a good bit of back and forth on the title, the type, the placement. So I would, oh yeah, that was it, right? Because this was a book license, but we're selling to people who traditionally like alternative movie posters. We had to hit this kind of sweet spot where it's for the book, and but it's a bit of a movie poster, but it's not quite a movie poster kind of thing. So hence why at the start I would have had a very 70s sci-fi book cover type with the kind of thick lines on top and bottom, like a Dan McFarlane style thing. You'll know it when you see it. It would have looked very much like a 70s sci-fi book cover. And we had to pull that back a bit. And it was like, okay, and we moved the title around, got it down the bottom. And then I think I just came up with using a quote from the book as a tagline. And that's what made it like a movie poster. That was the little key.
That's great to hear. So how would you, is that one of your more favorite works that you've done in the sci-fi genre?
Yeah.
Like, or this I mean, this movie, or not movie, but this book in terms, or movie/movie? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, no, well, actually, I'd never read the book before taking on the poster. Okay. Funnily enough, and being a sci-fi nerd, you would think I had, but no, it was one I hadn't read, and I really enjoyed it. No, I'm really pleased with the poster, and actually, it was one of those where during the process of making it, I thought it was terrible, and often the stuff that comes out ends up being my best stuff. I think I really battled with it during it. I think I nearly gave up a couple of times.
All right.
James was very patient. I think I was probably quite snotty, which isn't in my general nature, but I did battle with it a bit. And then in the end, like I'm really proud of it. It's kind of a weird composition. Like I'm using thirds and stuff, so the eye of the main robot is where it should be, but it's weird in that it's off center and it's bleeding off the image, and there's a lot of stuff happening off to the sides. It's quite weird in that way, but I think it works.
I think so too. It's an amazing artwork, and people all already shouted out that they really want it. in the chat. So people, that's something you can win. So don't miss your chance when I talk about how you can win this. I might have to drop it a couple times during the podcast so people know, because I know attention spans are not that good. But so dropping this now, this is one of the things how you can win this. And there will be a post. I will put the post up tomorrow on my Instagram, and everybody can drop their comments on what they want and stuff like that. It will be all like saying it in the post, how you enter this giveaway. And then there will be the whole week. So you basically have from starting Sunday night probably until Friday. You can all partake in this. And if you partake in this, then there will be a drawing on the next Saturday, so a week from now, at the same time. And you have to be in person in the live stream, in the chat, to actually win this. So I will have the wheel coming out, and then we will have a lucky person winning one of the many giveaways that I will do tonight. Yeah, people already bought this, so that's interesting. David, how about you tell us how it looks in person in the chat? That would be interesting to see, and maybe you can also comment on the whole packaging situation, because I think that is really interesting to see if you thought the same way, how cool it was or not, or if it worked and was proper packaging on this one. Okay, Matt, before I'll let you go, or you can all gladly stay how long you want, and by the way, the rest, because people can't see this, I have this Skype setup. Basically, I can see James and Keir and all of them in the windows here. I will you can always chime in whenever you have something to say or if you have a question. Just chime in, let us know what's up, and we have our next guest away. He's coming in the podcast in a little bit as well. So I want to ask you, Matt, what's next up for you? Not even with Moor Art, but in general, what's coming out? Is there something we have to look out for?
I have been working on a couple of prints for Vice and Bottleneck, but I've fallen way behind. It's ridiculous. So actually, I pulled my socks up in the last couple of weeks, and I've been working on them. But that's what's next. So I got distracted by other things, and I'm behind schedule on a bunch. So I had a few lined up with Bottleneck too. I'm lagging behind, but I will catch up.
Yeah, can you tease us a little bit?
I've got an echo here. Is that me?
I don't know who it is, but I hear it as well.
It's probably James Henshaw. It's always James Henshaw with the echo.
Yeah, because we have our next guest.
Oh, I just gave it away.
Yeah, you gave it away. It's okay, though. It's okay. Don't worry.
Whoopsies.
Then I want to let's go back to James and Keir, and they were also very nice to give us some more artwork, and one of that is also by the really talented Bella Grace, who has done lately a very cool poster for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And let me transition to that, and maybe James, you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Known Bella for probably about 2 or 3 years now through Poster Spy, and then latterly Poster Posse. She was just like this talent that just seemed to be going like up really quick. You know, she was doing stuff which, you know, you saw coming out of all of the big galleries. She had her own kind of style, really concept based. So I definitely wanted to work with her on something. And she did the Back to the Future prints with Zavvi Gallery. Mm-hmm. And it was after that, and seeing particularly the foil on that one. And the little pin badge that she did as well. We originally talked about just doing the pin badge for Stormtrooper. But she kind of like enjoyed the time on it so much. You know, she kind of asked, would it be possible to do a poster? I've got an idea for this kind of galaxy type sky coming in and forming forming the Stormtrooper helmet.
Mm.
So yeah, we went ahead with that. It came out typically great Bella Grace piece.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's great. Again, like I'm sure you'll hear all the galleries say this, that it looks so good when it's actually printed. But this one really does like, it really does like the texture. I think it's the texture on Bella's pieces. Perhaps when you see them as a JPEG on your phone or even on a computer.
Can you feel it, like in terms of the texture when you touch it on a print? Because like I had the Anne Benjamin one that is up.
On some screen prints, if it hasn't been coated or anything, yeah, you probably would, because it's that very textural kind of like grainy brush or whatever that Bella will use.
Okay.
But yeah, you just see that come to the fore when you're seeing it, big print. Particularly with the Vice Press one, the darker areas on the Jurassic Park piece, they really come out when you see the print, and it's just awesome. All these tiny details in the darker areas of the print.
That's amazing.
So, and Bella's like, what? Apart from Matt Griffin, the most professional artist we've probably worked with, she was great. She'll send files, especially for your website. Here are the specified 72 DPI files for you. Here's a PDF to send for approval. So that was an absolute dream, and she's going to go on strength to strength, and I think she's only just showing what she'll be doing in the future, especially with that Winter Soldier piece which she put out recently as well.
I just saw in the chat Juan Ramos stopped by. I will have a little tease for you guys for Juan Ramos. It has something to do with a project that I've been working towards that will come out towards the end of the year. So if you want to see something really cool, you gotta stay definitely in the stream. So thank you, Juan, for coming on. It's always good to see you. And Kier, how about you tell us more about the last piece that you guys gave out for this giveaway, which is the Stan Lee piece by Freya Betts, who is also a very talented artist who has been on the podcast as well. So this is an amazing piece, and for all your Stan Lee fans, it's just incredible. So Kier, how about you sound off a little bit, or should James do that as well? I mean, you decide, guys. Yep. I don't know who knows.
Yeah, we'll both go for it. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll start, because when we first, I don't even want to say when we first started working on this, we got approached by POW Entertainment, Stan Lee's company that he set up to own his likeness rights. And Grace, the lady who was running it, she approached us, and we were like, she must be trying to con us. Like, there's no way someone working for, looking after Stan Lee's image and rights would come to us, but it turned out like legit. Obviously, it just seems so bizarre that someone would come to us with it, to ask us to potentially make some posters, and that happened. And immediately, the first sort of name that came to mind was Freya Betts, because she just does likeness like no other, doesn't she, really? So that's why we picked her. Yeah. How about you, James?
Yeah, exactly that. She had just done the Royal Mail stamps for Star Trek.
Oh yeah, those are amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think this was the first job that she did after completing those. It just seemed a no-brainer, really, for likeness with Freya, in that kind of like slightly painterly style. She'll do almost like intentional brush strokes with a digital brush, to give it that kind of organic feel. Freya did two prints for us at the same time to celebrate what would have been Stan's birthday at the end of the year. Yeah. I think the one we're giving away was probably it was most popular, wasn't it? I think it's more in Freya's traditional style of being a portrait.
I have to say, from both of them, I really enjoy this one. I mean, just the colors, the red and like the beige and the off-white background, they pop really well, and it's just it just screams Excelsior in my opinion. So
Yeah. And it was the quickest. I think it was the most natural for her as well, and that sort of shows, doesn't it, as well? Okay.
yeah. Okay, people. So those 3 prints are the present for you guys from me. From Moor Art as well, and yeah, they're giving out the Bella Grace Galaxy Trooper, then we have the Stanley portrait, and then we also have the Matt Griffin, the War of the Worlds. So I'm really thankful, guys, that you make this happen, and I want to ask you one last question before we move over to our next guest. What is happening in the future? What is coming out soon? Is there anything you want to promote that is already out? This is your chance. Akir, James, whoever wants it can take this.
Oh, I'll take it. We've got some cool stuff planned for May the 4th. We probably should have put a little bit more planning into May the 4th. But then we thought, actually, it'd be such a big deal in for Star Wars fans, May the 4th. So we've got some cool prints coming out then. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And then we're working on some other stuff, but it's a bit difficult really because we're basically just on the very edge of getting some stuff approved and sorted. But yeah, it's just a little bit too soon to go talking about those just yet. But yeah, all right, I'm sure we'll have.
That sounds very amazing, and that means for our next guest is another James, another gallery owner. It is Mr. James Henshaw, who is the co-owner of Vice Press. And yeah, James, how are you doing tonight?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are all you? The 4. How are 4?
Yeah, we're 4 right now, but there's going to be more.
Yeah, you are.
I know whoever wants to stay, and remember, guys, who are not seen on screen right now on YouTube, you can always ask questions as well if you want to say something, if you want to join in, say anything. It's always a possibility. Ask in the chat as well if you have the chat open, but remember to mute the audio.
Is it like the Christmas episode, or into a bit of a free fall, Tom?
It is basically, but I'm not giving it out to the chat this time. So yeah, but
I've been listening along. It's been a great episode so far. I've been listening along. How are you doing, mate? You all right? See you.
You're giving a thumbs
up. And then we've got Kieran and the other James that have got yeah, I'm quite impressed with how line and tidy you're off, Matt.
But yeah, I hope
tidy my office is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. Sorry.
It's always clean, Matt, so don't worry.
Are you serious? My office is in shite at the moment. It's absolutely disgraceful.
And then I'm looking at Kieran James, and we've got some Vice prints up there. We've got Matt's Dune down there. We've got Matt's War of the Worlds with Bella's. Is that better? Luke Priest's Wars up there. Up there is got some good art in the background there, guys. Very impressed.
So yeah, James. I mean, people know us. We've been doing the podcast together. The Vice Press Open channel.
Sorry, Tom. I completely lost my audio. So everything you just said, I didn't hear. Apologies.
Okay, you're back.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think this is also again the echo from or the feedback from your sound. I don't know. Is it loud? Is it on loud?
No, it's 2 seconds. I think it's the Doaly speaker. 2 seconds.
Don't worry.
Do you want to fill a second? I'm gonna get some Bluetooth headphones.
I'm gonna fill the second here. I'm gonna switch over, or I don't know if you guys, if the other guys want to join in and say something before we have James. You can pretend. Let's do that. Oops, that's the wrong one here. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, we've got some great stuff coming from Vice Press soon. We've got some prints, and they're just going to go down like a storm, like usual. We've got more Matt Griffin as well. Got some awesome Jurassic Park prints too. So stay tuned. You're gonna love it.
Okay, Mr. Fake Henshaw, can you show us the Matt Griffin in the background? Can you give us a close up of this to the camera?
Matt Griffin.
There you have it.
There you go, beautiful.
It's a little bit laggy on Kier's end. I don't know, Kier.
Laggy on my end as well. Sorry, guys.
It's on the countryside. We know how all that goes.
Can you hear me now?
The real Henshaw's back now.
The real Henshaw's back. Yeah, we can hear you, James.
Good to go. That's a bit better. I just up my beautiful hair.
Yeah, I know how that is. That's why I have these now.
I should have planned this much better. I only realised about 10 to 7. I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be doing something at 1:30. So yeah.
So what's up, man? How you doing? I mean, I said people know us like working together on the Vice Press Open channel, so that's always something really cool to look forward to. And we just had we have like a little chat group people out there. So and we talked about some really cool formats that we're gonna do for you guys in the future, and there will be some cool stuff coming. So definitely stay tuned to the Vice Press Open channel. And if you didn't subscribe yet, head over there, subscribe now, and rewatch all those episodes if you if you haven't already. I mean, it's always fun. Most of the times it's just the usual dudes that hang around. It's Matt, Ferguson, Florey, this gentleman here, and myself. And we're always having a good time and having a guest on and stuff like that. So that's always, if you're liking the pop culture art, do something in there. Matt is waving goodbye.
No, I'm putting my hand up to say something.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
How come I'm never asked onto the Vice Press Open channel? Like, what does a fella have to do?
Have you had something out since we've been doing this?
Like silent running.
That's not true.
Come on at Christmas. Matt.
Or was it?
We were talking about this. They was talking about guests, and obviously this is Tom's podcast, so I don't want to kind of steam too far.
Go ahead.
You're working on something for us at the moment. We've kind of got a list of. We're going to change up the O channel a little bit. What we've kind of done is we've kind of based the O channel around whoever's got a release coming out. We'll kind of get them on, promote them and do that. Do them once a month. We're thinking about doing the frequency a bit more, but just not only just doing them and getting artists on when they've got a release, but also getting artists on who we consider friends and part of the Vice Press family. So, you know, like yourself, Matt, you'll be high up on there. We'll be getting you on quite frequently. We're going to try and get Raid on a little bit. Bella as well. Bella's great. I'm going to offend people by not mentioning them. She's on every week, so don't have to kind of invitation out to them. But then also, we're going to try and get folks from outside Poster World as well, like from the artist perspective. Love to get the guys on from Duck, spoken to Joshua and maybe Rebecca over there, get those guys on, talk about what they do. And then we've got friends in different as well, like record stores and things. So, yeah, to answer your question, Matt, you're very much high on a guest list. So, yeah, you will be on whenever you want. But not the next one, or the one after. Or the one. No, yeah.
I was about to say I'm satisfied with that answer, and then you ruined it. No, I'll come on whenever. It can be in a year's time, 2 years' time. I don't care. I just want to come on and have the crack.
We're not a well-oiled, slick machine like Tom is on his own, or when Tom does it with Mr. Hobson. You know, those guys are like when Keir does his podcast. We're very much trying to find our feet and our voice a little bit at the moment, and we just like talking shit a bit. So yeah, we've got to look professional when we get you professional artist types on.
Exactly, and Matt Griffin is also known for his professional vocabulary in terms, and he knows what to say in each situation, and it's a very dictionary type speaker.
I use colorful language from time to time, but who doesn't? I guess people don't tend to do it on podcasts when they're not supposed to. But
I mean, Matt, you behave very well on our podcast, and also Peter Diamond, who is also a good friend of yours. He behaved also very well in terms of language.
Yeah. I know.
Peter's such a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to speaking. I've only kind of email communicated with Pete. I've got something and it works with him, but he's so polite and going on about professional artists like Bella. Pete's exactly the same. Pete, I probably offended him now, but I shortened his name there. But yeah, he seems really sweet. Really want to get a chat with him on your podcast. It was pretty great. That was quite eye-opening, really. Seemed nice guy.
He is a very nice guy, and thank you, for watching. We have also another guest for the open channel on the wait list. Mr. Juan Ramos just mentioned he wants to talk some shit.
Oh, I've already been swearing already. Sorry. Yeah, no, Juan's got some stuff in the pipeline with us, Bottleneck as well, and he's done some stuff. Juan would be a great guest. I've never spoken to you directly, Juan. Hello, hope you're well.
Yeah, he's also a good fella. I mean, he's been on the podcast and working on the art book that's coming out at the end of the year. And he's Juan. Can I congratulate you like on live camera? And can I say why I'm congratulating you for? Just let me know in the chat if that's okay or not. Then I will do it. But let's talk about some art for a second before we get to the questions from the audience. There's 2 questions. And the first artwork that you guys were gladly making available to give away is the beautiful artwork for Flash Gordon by Matt himself, Matt Ferguson. And James, how's the Flash Gordon Studio Canal workout coming? What's coming also in the future? And maybe you can also comment on this one.
Yeah, sure. So Flash Gordon, I don't think it's any secret that Flash Gordon's one of Matt Ferguson's favourite films. Matt was actually born while Flash Gordon, but he didn't. I mean, it's a story he's told, and people into this Dwyer O'Connell. And we have 2 posters in the works at the moment for Flash Gordon. We've got the licenses through King, and King own the rights. Flash Gordon and have since way back in the 30s. Studio Canal just to do the approach Matt to do cover, and we kind of negotiate the screen print and the pins and things with that. I hope he doesn't mind saying Pete Diamond's doing one of.
Yeah, we teased that on our podcast, the Flash Gordon one.
Oh, sweet. Yes. Yeah, so that's pretty much ready to for approvals now as well. So that's the final one. So that shouldn't be too long. That should be by summer we'll have that one released. I got another one as well, but I don't want to say who that is because obviously I don't want to steal Peter's thunder, because that's the next one, and it's me and Matt really like it. So that'll be a screen printed release, and we're just looking at who we're going to be printing with that with.
The teaser that he showed me and showed we could show to the audience looked already amazing. So I think that's also going to be a very nice piece by Peter. So yeah, something to look out for. Peter.
Yeah.
And I just saw in the chat that Juan said I can go for it. So congratulations, Juan, for becoming a father. So that's a really cool thing. And he told me, Juan told me in an email, because he was working on for the project, he was like, I have to knock out all the artwork and I have to get everything done because I want some months off because when the baby's gonna come and stuff like that. So definitely that's the work ethic. That's also, I think that's also what Ruiz Burgos did. Before he had his kid, he worked, so he could take that time off when the kid is there. So that's really something to look forward. So congratulations, Juan, on this end. And so we're going to tease you guys later towards the end of the show what Juan did for the art book. That's really cool to see. So one of the questions that also can be answered maybe by Keir and James. Tony Halson is asking, I'm curious how much say the license owners, for example, Universal, have on the design process, and how much do the galleries guide the designer? James Henshaw, would you like to take this one first?
Yeah, can do. I had his hand up. So Keir, if you've got an answer ready, you're more than welcome to go. But I don't mind answering.
I did have an answer because I saw that question in the chat, and
perfect.
I have to say you have to balance it out between being a selfish poster collector, because I'm sure that James Henshaw and James Hobson would both agree with me is that the reason you approach an artist is because you love their work. And like we had one with Chris Thornley, and I was like, you could do this version of your poster but for this. And he's like, yeah, that's great. And I was like, yeah, like I can already see it in my mind. And he was like, yeah, they make themselves, don't they? And I was like, yeah, just do that. And he was like, well, yeah, but I've done it. And I was like, yeah, but nobody would look great. I can see it already. But you have to let the artist do what they do, you know. Like I'd love to be able to do what they do, and if it was easy to do, we'd all be doing it. And you know, that's why you ask them in the first place. So you just have to leave them to it and make their mind up.
A lot of the time, licensors will if you're lucky, if you get a good license, this isn't true of perhaps all of them. Each company is different. But for the main part, we've been lucky and we've had licensors putting their trust in us as a gallery. It's our job to, know what our kind of, fan base or collectors like in the art. So for the most part, we've been left to kind of art direct ourselves, and the licensors haven't really had too much of a say. The difference can come in if you're also producing art which will then go onto one of their products, which we haven't had. We haven't had that so far yet. But I mean, Vice will probably tell you more about this with things like Studio Canal. They'll have art which then will go on to be a DVD cover, Blu-ray cover. I don't know if James, would they then have more of a say in what the art looks like then?
Yeah, no, that's a really, really good point. I think so. I think there's 3 different categories that I'd kind of put this in. So I'll address what James Hobson's mentioned there. So say, for example, like Flash Gordon's and the John Carpenter releases. So when we're approached, because it's not only Matt, we've done a few with other artists as well. So there was Hell or High Water with Mark Vinyl and a few others that have maybe not come to fruition or so forth. So say for example it's a DVD cover or Blu-ray cover. I think they choose the artist, or Studio Canal will choose the artist based on what work that they've seen of them. So there's certain expectation what artist's work is like, but they'll try and guide them. I suppose where Matt stick out to anything is he can be quite. If we think they're wrong, we won't be backwards in coming forwards into them. And kind of try and fight for a bit of a middle ground. So I think, like with the John Carpenter release, with the Flash Gordon, with Hell or High Water, there was kind of a ground that was found where everybody was ultimately happy with the end product, and it works out because of it. So there's that part. So James, yeah, right. There's something to be a kind of a consumer product, the licensor or commissioner will have more of an input there. We're kind of pigging on the back of it. Then you have other brands such as say Arden or 2000 AD or something like that. They'll have a more, not strict, but they will have they will have firmer guidelines in what actors are to look like and how they're to be presented. So what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that when you first an artist about working on those projects that license, or if they choose that license, you kind of set expectations and let them know that they have parameters to work in. And sometimes that works exceptionally well, like with Andy Fairhurst and with Florey and things like that. And sometimes you kind of, it probably isn't going to work. You just have to kind of agree to that. For the most part, how we approach an artist, like you mentioned, Keir, is that we should approach an artist because we like their work, and we'll kind of say to them, okay, here's our list of pieces, or if we have something specific in mind, would you like to do this? Let us know what your concepts are. Generally, if somebody provides one or provide for me and Matt will have initial vetting process, more so Matt than me on the art, to be honest, and we'll say, okay, we prefer this one. So the licensor necessarily doesn't see all of the options. They kind of see mine and Matt's preferred one. Sometimes the fee is exceedingly minimal. Sometimes, as Matt Griffin will know with the project he's working on, that it's kind of there's a little more. So we kind of, if we feel that the licensor is off base with something, or if we don't agree with them, we'll push back. But I think sometimes it's picking your battles. Sometimes you have to push back on certain things and let certain things slide. So say, for example, there's something Matt is kind of Matt Griffin is adamant that he wants to keep. We'll kind of give a little bit of a push back on that, especially to the advantage of the artwork. So we have to. So it's finding a book. But we have to be very, very. In our 5 years doing this, I think there are two pieces that have never seen the light of day. I think that discounting Matt's world, that's a different matter that will inevitably come up at some point. There's only 2 that have kind of never managed to make it out, and we've all managed to make everything else where everybody is happy with it, and hopefully to a point where they don't see it's being too much of an issue. Because me and Matt try and take that headache away from the artist as well to a degree. So yeah,
Okay,
that's my answer. So
that was a long, elaborate answer. Thank you for that, James. Microphone has a
by
has a
that,
question.
do you mean? Oh my god, I wish it should shut up 30 seconds ago.
No. Matt, do you have a question, or is that?
No, it was just further to what James was saying there. Like we're having in the middle of an experience now where I send my concept, which is insane, and then with Matt Ferguson, we pair it right back. He's like, "This is a mess. Do this, this, and this to pair it back." Okay, that's cool. And then you send it off, and just sometimes. I don't know, but is it more with estates than with studios this might happen? Where they're like, they have more of a personal stake in it or something. And so they're like, there's still too much in it or something, so let's pare it right back. And then that's sort of where we are, but I wonder if the estate is different to the studio experience.
Yeah. The short answer to that is yes, because oh god, done. It's all right. We go you back. Yeah, the estate.
Keep it short and sweet. Keep it short and sweet, James, because we have some more giveaway to announce, and our next guest is already in the pipeline. So.
Okay. The answer is yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry that I had to cut you off a little bit, but I want to introduce our next giveaway poster from Vice Press, which is hanging right behind me here. It's the beautiful Jaws variant by Florey, which is an amazing piece. And I'll tell you guys, I mean, you can see behind me, it looks perfect in this black, white, grayish combination with the red. And it's an incredible print. But James, you have a couple of words on that. James?
Oh yeah, sorry. It's all right. I got distracted then. Florey's a friend of ours as well, and he's kind of been with Vice Press since the start. And he was super proud on this, and it took a while to do because we really kept pushing. Or him and Matt kept pushing it to kind of just to be the best could and make sure that the concert was solid. But personally, it's one of my favorite Jaws prints that not only we've done, I think full stop. I just think it's pretty cool. And I think that is it the black and red one that we're doing as the giveaway, Tom?
Yeah, the variant, yeah.
Yeah. So that's my personal favorite of the two, I think. It's less.
I have to say, I had my personal favorite was the regular version, but now seeing it in person and having it up at the wall, it looks amazing. So.
Yeah, I mean, the coloured one is more Jaws. It's more the kind of colours of Amity. It's more the colours of film. But I just think for some reason the red, the black, and the grey one just looks a bit more sinister, which is cool.
Okay, thank you so much so far. I'm going to introduce my next guest, and then I will have another question from the audience for you guys. I'm going to tell you which one we're going to answer, and it is from the last DROPCAST anniversary year. What was your favorite print? So keep that in mind already from the audience, and I'm going to introduce my next guest, which is a very cool guy I've met in person when I was in New York at his gallery at Hashimoto Gallery. So that was really cool to see. I've got a lot of the prints I got there. I think I bought 5 or 6 prints that are up now on my architecture wall. For the Frank Lloyd Wright series he did for Spoke Art. So welcome, Mr. Ken Harman. How are you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good to see you. Good to finally be on the podcast. We're gonna have some more. I think Ken, you have to talk a little bit longer so the window changes.
Mm-hmm.
so
right.
Say a couple more words.
Nice to meet you guys. Is everyone here in the UK? Am I the only Yank here?
Yes, you are, sir.
Cool. What time is it out where you guys are?
In the UK, it's 7:55 p.m. right now, and for me in Berlin, it's 8:55.
Okay. Well, it's a little too early for me to drink, but maybe I'll get started soon.
So yeah, Ken, how about you tell us? You have your own gallery. Is it it's part of Spoke Art, right? So tell us a little bit something about where you're coming
Yeah.
from in this postal world.
So, we have a pretty interesting business model. It's pretty unique, I want to say, in the world. And the way it works is we've got Spoke Art, which tends to focus on pop culture, figurative, illustrative works as well, fine art as well. And Spoke Art started in San Francisco in 2010. So we actually recently celebrated our 10-year anniversary, which is pretty exciting. In addition to Spoke Art, I have another gallery called Hashimoto Contemporary, which is sort of a separate business. And Hashimoto has a gallery in San Francisco as well, 2 doors down from Spoke Art, and also has a gallery in New York City. Beyond that, we have a few different other sort of art-related businesses, including Paragon Books, which publishes various art books, mostly for like street artists and fine artists. We also have a website called The People's Print Shop, which does weekly fine art print releases. That's going on probably 7 or 8 years now. And then we also have a full-scale giclée print shop out of a warehouse in Berkeley, California, where we do most of our in-house printing as well as printing for other galleries, other artists, and we also do print fulfillment for other galleries and for other artists. We have a lot of artists who just mail us 500 prints and we just ship them out for them because for a lot of artists, it's pretty difficult. When you reach a certain level, fulfilling at home is really difficult. So that's just sort of a service we offer for friends. I don't know if any of my new UK and German friends would need print fulfillment in the US, but if you do, please let me know. I'm absolutely happy to help if I can.
That sounds very great. So really interesting to see the insights on that. We had a question from the audience. I'm gonna ask that because we have also another guest in who can also chime in on that. We will introduce him accordingly, obviously. The question was, what was in the last year or last 12 months or whatever, in the DROPCAST anniversary year, what was your favorite print? Or like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a favorite, but what pops in your head that is very, very memorable? Ken, how about you sound off before we get into
give me 2 minutes to think on this one. Let me go last.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have somebody in the chat? If somebody has something, just start speaking and elaborate a little bit so it changes the video to you guys. I see blank faces, shaking heads.
What was the question?
Right,
what was the question again, Tom?
Sorry,
I tuned out completely. I just want to say very quickly, Ken, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. I've kind of followed Spoke Art for a while. I think you guys did one of my favorite movie posters of all time, which was Drew Millwood's Big Lebowski. I think that was through you guys. Did a screening was that? I may have massively embarrassed myself, and it might not have been through you guys. But yeah, no, I'm going to say hello. And what was the question, Tom?
Yeah, the question was, what was your favorite piece of art in the last 12 months?
Can I answer
Sure,
that
go
one?
ahead, Kier.
Yeah, so mine was the Matt Ferguson's sort of like classic Batman with the Batman.
Okay,
He's at the 60s Batman TV series, yeah. Because when I was a kid, I think it was about 7 or 8, I went down to see my grandparents and we went to like this weird sort of outdoor market thing. And there was a guy with one of the Batmobiles and he let me ride in it for £2. So when I saw Matt's poster, I was like, it's like my childhood right there. And I went in that car. So when I missed it, sadly, when it went up for sale, but then I got one of his APs. So that was very exciting.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. Can I copy James Henshaw as well in fanboying about Ken?
Sure, go ahead, Kier.
Yeah, the reason Moor Art Gallery is called Moor Art Gallery is because of Spoke Art Gallery. When I was doing like a business course, I was thinking about names, and Spoke Art was one of my favorite. Well, it's still one of my favorite art galleries. And I remember being like, oh, well, Moor Art Gallery seems a bit weird, but Spoke Art, it sounds like Spoke Art, and Spoke Art's well cool. So yeah, let's go for it. It's called Moor Art Gallery. So there you go. That's me fanboying.
Yeah. Does somebody else have an answer to that very hard question?
I do.
Go ahead, Matt.
Matt Ferguson, Empire Strikes Back, poster of the Millennium.
Of the
I'm calling
Millennium.
it.
Okay, okay, you heard it here first. It's the poster of the Millennium, people. Thank you, Matt. That's a good choice. James, what about yours? James Hobson, that is.
Just to annoy you, Tom, I'll say Killian Eng, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Love goes out to Killian Eng. Yeah, people that watch this show, they know why this is not like an inside joke, but we have this joke going on in the show because I have to say it's not my favorite Killian Eng piece from the last year, but it's an opinion. People, we can argue. But yeah, James Henshaw, have you an answer now?
I'm trying to think of a print that's not Matt Ferguson and back.
Just say They Live behind you.
Yeah, I was trying not to vain. But yeah, Live by Drew Millward. Again, and I embarrassed myself. Ken, it was Gary F that put out that the Lebowski one, which is just so embarrassing. But yeah, Drew Millward, I would say They Live.
All right, there you go. Ken,
Thanks a lot, everybody. By the way.
Matt Griffin's unreleased print is my favorite print next 12 months.
Okay. So yeah, Ken, your turn.
Oh man. For my own galleries, that's a tough one. Even with the pandemic, we probably did about 40 physical in-person exhibitions last year. Mm-hmm. So too many to pick. That's like picking your favorite child. Yeah. I will say that the Tyler Stout Mad Max Fury Road I will be releasing in a couple of months is going to be on this list for sure. I will say
I called dibs, yeah.
You know what? I'm happy to hook it up. You know what? How about this? If any of you guys can trade me a Killian Eng Lord of the Rings, I got you, man. I got you. I swear, I will make it happen. We also next week, I don't know if there's anyone tuning in who's in Asia, but next week in Seoul, South Korea, one of our artists, Max Dalton, has his debut museum exhibition. Right, it's a museum retrospective. It's got hundreds of works in it. I'm supposed to be there. I can't be there, obviously. And we are debuting a Parasite print at that show.
All right.
So that will be pretty cool. But I got to say, man, honestly, since you guys mentioned Killian, that guy is killing it. Everything he puts out is awesome. I just got in on this most recent commission. I never do these commission things. I'm a little out of touch.
Yeah. I saw your post on how do I get in those commissions?
Yeah, seriously. Someone sent me an invite to the most recent one, so I got in on that. Yeah. I think Killian's been on a roll. He's definitely been someone I've had my eye on the past few months. So
yeah, that's very great to hear. But before we get into what Spoke Art is gladly giving away for our little anniversary, I want to talk to the next artist that will be on as well, which is my good friend, also Poster Posse artist, Doaly. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, hey Tom, doing well, mate. Doing well. Thanks for the invite for the anniversary show.
Yeah, of course, buddy. I mean, we have something from your artwork that we're giving away, but more on that later. And I was talking to your wife. I was thanking her that you could get away from parenting duties, but she said you did all of the stuff around the house. So.
Yeah, I got in those brownie points before I can have the evening off. So yeah, that's all done and dusted now.
That's great. So what's your choice on the poster of the year, like the last 12 months?
Last 12 months? Oh, it's a hard one because it's one of those things. It's always the last thing you remember. So couldn't tell you definitive over the last 12 months, but Phantom City Creative's latest Kong v Godzilla. Yeah, that's a sweet poster. So
I have to say I like the variant better than the regular though.
I mean, yeah, it's the type treatment and the coloring and stuff, but it's just beautifully put together. I love the treatment that's given to it. It's always one of those things when you're doing a screen print. It's how close can you get it to traditional ink and industrial style, and that just nails it. I think from a treatment point of view, like you don't feel like you're losing anything from it being a screen print. So yeah, beautiful piece by like Justin and Phantom City.
It's basically for me, when it comes to comparing the movie to the poster, it is basically like your Wonder Woman 84 piece. The movie, nope, and King Godzilla vs Kong is nope. But the posters
happens
are beautiful.
like. Yeah, I think a lot of us work on, especially when we're working with studios or anything else, we work on like the poster before we watch the film. So you never know. You always hope that the film lives up to the poster and the poster lives up to the film. Sometimes it's not always the case, but hey, you get to enjoy doing the art anyway. So, but
yeah. Alrighty. Let's get back to Ken for a second here. Ken, there was a question also from the audience: is the stout Frank Lloyd Wright ever happening?
Unfortunately, I'm going to go with a no on this one. It could happen, don't get me wrong, but realistically, no. And, you know, to be frank, I don't like to do a lot of licensed things in general. The Frank Lloyd Wright Foundation has been great to work with.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to other licenses in play, we were unable to make it happen. I think that I saw the image. I got to tell you, it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's amazing. But, you know, it's not a literal translation. And a lot of the times, especially with sort of these older licenses, more conventional, more traditional, it's hard for them to think outside of the box. And if you present them with something that doesn't look like a photograph or doesn't look like something your grandmother did,
but
then
we buy your kid stuff. I mean, that's
correct. But the thing about the Frank Lloyd Wright stuff is that there are also multiple rights holders depending on various buildings, etc. So, you know, for example, with the Guggenheim, we had to get the Guggenheim's approval, which was actually a pretty easy experience, which is sort of crazy given like how big of a public art institution they are. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Tyler's will ever see the light of day. I've seen it. It's rad. Maybe one day, but don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, so speaking of Frank Lloyd Wright, is there going to be a series 3?
We're hoping to return this October. We will see. You know, everything's so up in the air right now. I think everyone's plans are iffy, right?
October already?
We're hoping. I mean, I'll tell you right now, New York Comic Con just confirmed. We just got our booth in, and that's in October. Art Basel Miami just confirmed. We got our booth in for December. Chicago Comic Con just confirmed. We got our booth in for December. So, you know, but things are looking good out here. Like I've already gotten both of my shots already. So
that's good.
So we'll see. I don't know. I know it's not quite not easy going for you guys, right?
Yeah, I'm a teacher, so we got bumped up actually to get our shots here in Germany. So I just got the paperwork, so I can basically get a date for my vaccine. But,
awesome.
Yeah. So let's see how that's going to work out. But yeah, good to know that October is going to be Series 3, maybe. So I'll have to save up some money because like last time I bought way too many. but here's one more thing. I need more 24 by 36 prints.
I know. The problem, you know, honestly, the only reason I don't like doing them is because they're a pain in the ass to bring to conventions. They're just harder to store. They're harder to sell. They get damaged easier. You know, like 18 by 24s, I can stack them. I can put them under a table and I can sell them all weekend. 24 by 36s, I need special racks.
Okay, I see.
You know, the
thing is, I have two 24 by 36 in the middle, and the rest is 18 by 24. So it's like, you know,
the Laurent Durieux.
Yeah, I know. I got all three that are 24 by 36, and I can't rotate them correctly.
For sure, I feel you. It is a comment we get regularly, and I totally understand. So
yeah, I just need one more, so that's fine.
All right, you know, I'll make you a special one.
Thank you. Tom's basically asking for an addition of one. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take the stout.
It'll be $30,000.
But yeah, you know, it's funny you should say that, Ken. It's because I desperately want to start doing more smaller prints, but like Tom said, obviously for us, licensed stuff with the movie posters, 24 by 6 seems to be where it's at, and especially over here in the UK, like 18 by 24 is an off-the-shelf frame. It's like a custom frame job kind of thing.
Is 24 by 36 common in the UK?
It become more common now because you buy IKEA frames, and I think like some of the hardware stores they've kind of adjusted. They can have a tolerance. They do the centimeters, but they're tolerance that allows of 24 by 30 to fit. So they're kind of no issues. But it's. I think we're going to have to start doing our own custom frames to allow us to start doing 18 by 24s. Do more of those because
I got this is the Judge Dredd, the law
50 by 70. Yeah, so that's 50 by 70 centimeters. So the problem with that that comes with its own problems because an 18 by 24 you can print 2 per
this one,
18 24 by 36 prints. So you can kind of get 2 on one paper. With 50 by 70, you can't. So they're one per sheet of paper. So again, you have that economy of scale. You know, super boring economics. That's what people want to be here post podcast. So 50 by 70s, then they're just not practical. Really. Stop doing those.
Yep. Okay, Ken. I mean, you have a great project. I have the book. Let me grab it because you guys from Spoke Art are giving away the My Neighbor Hayao book, which is inspired by the films of Miyazaki. And let us know a little bit more about this book while I'll grab it.
Yeah. My very first show, my second show ever, was a Wes Anderson tribute art show, which was 2011. And we actually had a book published. Right here. Oh, nice. So anyways, long story, we had this Wes Anderson book published many, many years ago. Wes was kind enough to write the introduction to the book. If you ever see it, definitely pick it up. Lots of amazing art in it. And we did it through a major publisher, Abrams. They've done all of Wes's books, and this is part of a series. So the book was so successful that a few years later, they saw our Miyazaki show, and they said, hey, let's make a book out of that. So we basically took this Miyazaki art show on the road. We did it in New York, we did it in San Francisco, we did it in Los Angeles, and we did it in Honolulu, Hawaii. And we had hundreds of amazing works made. They were published into a book. That book was published a few months ago. And yeah, we've got a bunch, and we're happy to give some away. It's a beautiful book. I'm really proud of it.
It is. When I saw that you came out with it, the first round, it was just incredible. And also, cool thing is that it comes with a little reading.
That's the first printing. That's the first printing has sold out. I think the second printing doesn't come with that, so don't get your viewers too excited on that one. That's
really cool. So yeah, that's the first edition, people. You should have gotten one, but look at the amazing art that's in here. All of this more. Just it's not all prints. It's also like little figurines, for example, or was that cookies on the side here? Yeah, it looks like cookies. But all different stuff, sculptures and things like that. So that's really, really cool to see. So we are lucky to give 5 books away. So that's really something. And check into that when the post goes live. So me explaining here one more time how this thing works for the people that came in late. There's going to be a post tomorrow on Instagram. You will comment under what you would like to win, and then I will have a wheel 7 days later from now, and then you have to be in the stream to actually win something, because when I call your name, just hit a shout out in the chat or something like that, or send me an email, and you will get it, obviously. And then we will do all the rest. And Spoke Art is really helping out there, so that's really cool to see. Ken, thank you so much for coming on. Are you obviously glad to stay a little bit longer? But I want to get over to Doaly, who has been waiting a little bit. And if there's more questions, by the way, from the audience, I'm gladly to ask all the people that are on the podcast. So don't shy away from that. And Doaly, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Tom. Doing well, mate. Doing well. Enjoying a little bit of sun that we're getting.
Yeah, same here, man. It was really sunny and beautiful, and I did some gardening. I had the balcony ready and stuff like that. So that was really good to see. And yeah, Ken, I'm just seeing you're about to bounce. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And we have to do with Ken. I'll try to make it happen soonish. We're gonna have a long gallery interview talk with Ken personally for a whole podcast, not just a little appearance. But thank you so much for coming on, Ken. And we'll talk soon. Bye.
Definitely. Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I got to go, but it was nice to meet y'all, and hopefully we can all connect in person one day when the world is normal again or something like that. So cool. All right. Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you.
Again.
Take it easy.
So yeah, I did a little bit of gardening, so I'm happy about that. The balcony is starting to get really well. I had a barbecue today, so that was nice, and but just a little one with vegetables. It was a veggie barbecue, people.
Okay.
So
sounds wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. So Doaly, I talked to you about a piece that we are not giving away, but
Right. Yeah.
I talked about you about a piece that I will talk about you about a piece that we are giving away, which is your beautiful The Lord of the Rings by Zavvi Gallery. Zavvi Gallery was so nice to give us one of your prints. The foil, obviously, is amazing on this one, and it's an incredible piece. But let us know about the process and behind this, and like the full story.
I drew it originally in 2016. That actual piece, and it's been one that's been like going from one person to another for the last 4 or 5 years, or 4 years or so. And it's one of those. I always wanted to do a Lord of the Rings. Everyone has, I think, at least one Lord of the Rings piece in them, and this was mine, sort of thing. And I didn't have an idea beyond it. It was like the public hadn't seen it properly, or it hadn't been released, so I couldn't move on from the piece or like take it into a new direction. So finally found a home with Zavvi, which is great, and the lovely guys there. But yeah, it's a fun piece, and I think it's the gold foil that really makes the piece. I mean, it's lovely as a JPEG on your phone and so forth, but having it in person, having that effect of the gold foil when it really hits the ring, that's like an amazing feeling. And I've seen some like wonderful videos by people since they've framed it and so on, which is great to see.
Yeah. What about the other guy? Does somebody have it in hand? I think James, do you have it? Can you show it?
You have
It's in my portfolio at the moment. If you can give me like 5 seconds to drag it out.
Sure, go ahead. We'll give you the seconds. I'll talk with Doaly some more. Doaly, is there? I mean, the second one dropped with Bottleneck this time.
Yes.
When is the third one going to happen?
I was actually working on the third one today.
Okay.
So the third one, the drawing is done. I even did the steps in preparation, so that's all done. So yeah, I'm going to wait for it to get signed off, for it to get scheduled. So it's definitely dropping this year. When exactly, I don't know. I've been basically, for the last, everything that got released of mine this year was something I drew last year. And I've been booked up on projects all of this year thus far. So this is the first print I've drawn this year, I want to say. And I've got another one that I got to work on for the guys at Vice, which I'm getting onto next, which is fun. So it's great to be finally getting back to posters, because I've had some great like client work to do, like project work, but I love doing the poster side of stuff, because that's like I get to like design and art direct my own work, and it's always a passion project for me. So Lord of the Rings, just in a sense, from my point of view, is done. Let's see if there's any feedback. So that's done. So next piece I'm working on is for the lovely guys at Vice. But that should be out this year. Yeah, just waiting for Joe and Bottleneck and everything to schedule. So it's not far off.
Is it going to be a foil because you're the foil master?
Oh yeah, it's being a foil. Yeah, we're gonna round off the trilogy as it should be. So it's another foil piece to match the other two. I don't want to say too much just because it's going, like I sent it to Bottleneck today to get signed off, and I don't want to say anything until it gets signed off, because there's always that sort of like, touch wood sort of moment. But yeah, it's definitely following on from the previous two prints. It looks great as a set. I've got it on my phone somewhere, so I shall show you guys after like the live call sort of thing. But yeah, it looks good. I'm happy with it. It's the first like full trilogy I've released. It will be releasing as a print series, so that's like, for me, it's a little milestone to have like something that's been accepted well enough that it deserves and gets the full trilogy treatment. So that's great.
That's awesome to hear.
I have to say, Doaly, that concept of that first Lord of the Rings was pretty amazing. And you know, when you see a gallery release something, and you kind of think, shit, I really wish that was us.
Yeah.
That's,
Thank you.
it's some, you know, it's very rare that I get that. But when we saw when I saw that one with Zavvi for the Lord of the Ring, it was amazing. Just a really good foil, such an interesting medium to use, because sometimes it can be a bit of a gimmick. Sometimes it really works. Lord of the Rings, this Lord of the Ring one, that's a pure example of where it works really, really, really well.
Yeah, we have it in the background, by the way. If James needs to talk though, otherwise it doesn't switch the video to him. Matt Griffin just said in the chat, it's just the best foil use ever. And James, you need to talk, buddy.
Okay. Hello. Is this now featured? Hello.
Yeah. Now.
Hello.
There
hello.
It is. And look at this in person. It looks amazing. And what an incredible piece! Like the foil shines. It shines like the ring.
It does. No, it's one of those things. It's like when you use different types of paper, different types of treatments, I always want it to be something that lends to the actual property or the narrative. Because foil's been used and it's been used like 100 different ways. So it was nice just to use it and like say, this is how I would use foil. And I'm just grateful that it's been, appreciated so well by the majority of the people that have seen it. So yeah, it's like, I don't want to just like do foil to death, but this was a good use for it. So I'm pretty much finishing off with foil for now with my last Lord of the Rings. And then if there's another use for it, we'll find out.
Yeah, people are just wowed in the chat. And Matt Griffin as well. Matt, you want to say something, right?
It's an incredible use of foil. It really is. I do have a problem with that poster though.
I know you do.
I don't see how a ring would cast a shadow like that. And I don't see why people think it's so great. So, I mean, that's it.
That's fine. That's perfect. I will say it's a magic ring, Matt, but that's as far as I can really,
I should probably give a bit of context for this in case people start thinking I'm a total dick. But that poster knocked me out of the DROPCAST poster of the year competition, rightfully so, and of course it deserved it. And but I have a serious problem with it, and that's it. But it's a nice use of foil. Well done.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you for mentioning that, Matt. I totally forgot about that.
You did all right on that one. So yeah, I was like, it's one of those things you're going against people you know and that, and you love everyone's poster, but it's like, I didn't want to go against him because that like there's a few of us that actually know each other in person, so it's like it's painful when that happens because like okay, whoever wins, but I was like sad and joyful at the same time. But yeah, you deserved it, Matt. That was for you. I did it for you.
Some of the best.
You know what I
Thanks.
James.
I think more testament. I think it's more testament when we look at that competition you ran at the end of Tom. All of the art was amazing. I think the thing is when you look back at last year, there were many pieces of art that were just above and beyond. You'd got Matt Griffin's Dune, which is just probably my second favourite print that we've done after Drew Millwood's They Live, I think, last year. So there you go. There you go, Matt. Doaly Lord of the Rings, Florey's Jaws, the Matt's High Strikes Back, Bella's Star Wars, which she did for Moor Art, which is stunning, and Back to the Future. I just think that there are so many artists now that are kind of exceeding or kind of really up to their game in terms of what they're doing. And honestly, you guys are just doing an amazing job. You're doing a phenomenal job. And I think it's well deserved that the praise that you're getting for these releases.
Thank you so much. Speaking of Bella and Back to the Future, because Zavvi Gallery, somebody couldn't be here and Bella couldn't be here, as I said earlier, but we have another Bella giveaway, which is the beautiful foil edition of Back to the Future. And that is also really amazing. It's people already mentioned it in the chat as poster of the year. So people, write your favorite poster from the last 12 months in there, if you like. I'm interested in that as well. And this poster will also be available for the giveaway. So that's probably something all of you in the community out there would love to have. I mean, great foil use. And the people in the chat now, they're distracting me. They're writing back and forth and writing stuff you can't read, but it's always it's all good. They it's fine that they distract me. But yeah, Bella couldn't be here, but it's a great poster. It will be available as the giveaway. So that is really, really amazing. Does anybody want to have like a sound off on the Back to the Future piece by Bella? Just go ahead in the chat here, guys.
I'll say something. It's another one of those ones that I looked at and I thought, why couldn't she have done that for us? It was again amazing poster, that Back to the Future, and the pin. I've said it before. The pin she did with it was ingenious. The guitar pick, the guitar pick pin, that was really clever.
Yeah. So anybody else want to say something, or should we move on to our next gallery? Because I talked also. I guess nobody wants to say something. Okay, I talked to Mad Dog Posters, who have done some really great artwork before, and I have some big names. They gave me some big names for the giveaway, and one of that is, let me pull it up for you, is this beautiful piece by The Mask of the Red Death, and this is by none other than Francesco Francavilla. And do you guys like the rest of you from the people that are on the show? Do you know this piece? Who wants to say something a little bit about this one? I guess no one saw that. Just go ahead, keep talking.
I'm trying to look it up. I'm really bad with names. I need to see
it's The Mask of the Red Death by Francesco Francavilla via Mad Dog Posters. It is in total red. It's the regular edition, and it's a really, really cool piece.
Oh yes, yeah, I see it now.
Doaly, you want to say something on that?
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things with Francesco's work, because it's like I've seen him like paint in a sense from like live drawings and stuff. Like he's so fast in what he does, and it's so perfectly executed in the style that it is. I don't think there's a piece of his that I haven't liked, just because I love the style so much, because it's so striking, and because he does a lot of comic book art as well. It's like very succinct and to the point. We want every line counts. So yeah, his art is like, it's amazing with whatever he releases. But yeah, this is wonderful stuff.
All right, somebody else want to chime in? Tony, you don't need to go back. You just need a lucky hand to win this. No need to go back.
I'm not sure if it's the red is the variant or the beige and red is, but I really like the red.
Yeah, it's the red. It's the red with the beige, like the beige frame, basically.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the regular version. So that's some really cool stuff. Zavvi is putting up some canceled orders, by the way. So just putting that in the chat there, James. So that's very cool to see. And that's not the only good artist that Mad Dog provided us a poster with. And the second one is Kevin Tong with his blue velvet piece, which looks also incredible. And if you haven't seen it, people, I see Doaly typing already, pulling it up.
Yeah.
I think this is. I've seen it a couple times around the poster groups, people trading it back and forth, and this is a very, very beautiful piece, I think, and very fitting for the film. And somebody else from the group maybe want to say something, or is Doaly the only one chiming in here?
I can.
Go ahead, man. Sure.
I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's really stunning. It's such an amazing movie, but the character, the villain, I'm having a mental block on the actor's name now. Dennis Hopper. Yeah. He's so iconic that to get that across in a poster is very difficult, and he nailed it here. And also the type is amazing. And that's not a screen print, is it?
I'm not sure. I think it is though, but
seriously, there's the glow on the type. That's amazing.
It is, James?
Yeah, I did that. The blue velvet Kevin Tong. Yeah. So I think now. I haven't seen that.
It's a 24 by 36 inch screen print, and it's by DL Screen Printing, hand numbered, limited edition.
That is amazing.
Run of 200.
That Dennis Hopper, stunning. You know how I like that. I mean, piece is amazing, but specifically that part is phenomenal.
If you people can't wait for this one, it is still available on the Mad Dog poster site. So if you don't want to try your luck, it's still
grab
available.
it.
It's up there.
I love the blue. I think it's the blue's the variant, the full blue. Beautiful piece. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an amazing. I love all. I like the red and all the blues that are in there. Like they pop in very much, and I think it looks probably even amazing in person and even put up in a frame. So that's something really cool to put up. Hey everybody, for the latecomers here, Ian Fraser just showed up, so that's good to see. And nice for you to stop by. And those are the prints that Mad Dog offers, and Brett Kreitz does that, and he's a really cool dude. I did some trading before with him. He had some John Armour Star Wars prints, like the original trilogy. With the different colorways, it's also 18 by 24, which are really, really cool. But if somebody takes over, I can throw these up. So just for reference pieces here. Somebody needs to take over. Real quick.
I can waffle on a minute. So while we wait for Tom to dig through his drawers, let's have a Matt. I know you have to scoot off shortly. What's next up for you? What's your release?
Who are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I noticed you said you have to scoot, so I thought I'd give you a quick opportunity to plug some things before to leave.
Oh, thanks very much, James. What is next for me? Well, I said at the top of when I first came on that I am falling very far. I have fallen very far behind on my poster stuff. But the good news is actually in the last couple of weeks I pulled my socks up and I have been working on our thing that we've been working on. I was knocked slightly on that and I struggled with it a bit, but I think I've had a breakthrough. So I will be working with Matt Ferguson. I'm going to show him some new stuff shortly. And then I had a bunch of things lined up with Bottleneck that I just dropped the ball on, but I've started picking that up too. So there's nothing really I can list or say, but there's a few. And there's actually, I meant to ask James Hobson and Keir, because we have a sketch. What has happened?
What is he doing? Oh my God.
What the fuck is that?
What is that?
Somebody put on this very awesome filter, and I think if the right person talks, this will pop up now. I'm not sure, but
okay, all right. So we're now missing the lower half from the chest down, and we're on steps. Okay. Anyway, James and Keir, I have a rough with you guys that I think could make for a very, very cool poster, and it's license dependent, and I want an answer on what's happening with it instantly, please.
Yeah, we'll take it.
What?
We'll take it. Yeah, well, I'd be stupid to not.
Do we get to do the poster though?
I don't know.
James Hobson, come on.
Well,
time is money.
I mean, you've showed me a rough before for a particular license, which we tried to get. I'll see. We'll see.
Okay. All right. I'm taking that rough off and I'm putting it out. I'm putting it out to market. James Henshaw, call me, buddy. These guys
Too slow.
Just to finish, I guess with you've got you have your AP with Unique and Geekly, don't you, Matt? So if I think there's a couple. If is up still with them at the moment, I'm guessing Alien and Tune's out. But if folks want to pick up any of your prints while they wait for new releases, they can head over to Uniquely to pick up with your APs, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That is a good plug, and one I forgot to make myself, that there are APs with Uniquely Geekly. And yes, there are 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or more up prints left. For whatever reason, it has not struck a chord, but I'm very proud of it and I love it. And I think there are a few of those left for sure. Even the foil variants, there are some.
It's another good use of foil. I mean, we've been talking about Doalys, but having the waterfall with like the rainbow foil that works really well. Come on, people.
That was Matt Ferguson's call, so you can give him the credit for that.
It's not his name on the poster, so yeah.
Well, I know, but he helped me with Seps, and he said this would look good on foil, so I listen to whatever he says. But yeah, so AP's Uniquely Geekly, I've pulled my socks up on the stuff I fell behind on, and I have a bunch of stuff in the works for both Vice and Moor and Bottleneck Gallery. Oh no, not Moor anymore. Screw those guys, they dropped the ball. So I got nothing for Moor. And it's all BNG and Vice. And I do have to go, but thanks so much for having me on. And Tom, happy anniversary, buddy.
Thank you, man.
This is a great thing you've done, and I think the whole poster community owes you a debt of gratitude.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on and to give something away from your artwork, and also future stuff with you is going to happen, people. So Matt Griffin is a friend of the show, and he will stay a friend of the show. Alrighty.
All right. See you guys.
See you, Matt.
Take care, bud.
We're moving on to our last piece, or last pieces, I have to say, from the show, which is by alternative movie poster AMP. Simon Haas gave this out, and they are really, really cool. The first one is by Juan Esteban. I hope I pronounced that right. Juan Esteban, and he AMP provided us with Sleepy Hollow, the regular version, and also the variant version. So two of them are available to give away, not both of them at the same time. It's just one of each, and so that's also part of the giveaway. They're looking really amazing, and I think that's an very classy print. Anybody want to sound off from the guys still with us?
Who's it by again?
It's Juan
Esteban Rodriguez. So I really like Juan's work. You obviously showed those Star Wars posts earlier. He just similar to Bella, he seems to have a really good way with color and texture, and just kind of I don't know the technical term, so Doaly will probably stun his eyes in a minute. It looks pretty.
Yeah. Alrighty.
No, I do like his work.
I thought that was coming more, so I was giving you some thoughts.
No, that's very nice.
Yeah, when this like released about, I'd say a couple of years ago. I remember seeing it. Like,
I don't remember. I thought it was for wasn't it for a show like last year?
I'm sure, like it looks like I love the piece.
October 2020, I think it was released.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, yeah. It feels like one of the ones that I've seen a while ago, but it only got recently like released proper in a sense.
Okay.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, it's a beautiful piece. I really love it. I'm spoiled for choice between that and the variant. They're both amazing the way they've come out. So yeah, beautiful work.
Yeah, I think my personal favorite is the reg on this one, because it's I think it pops more in terms of the contrast. But I love contrast when it comes to color.
Yeah, I'm just looking through Juan's work as well. It's like I remember the first piece that kind of really came to light was his Star Wars piece, the cockpit view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the first times I was like, I wish I had done that. Is one of those pieces. It's like an amazing view because you've never seen Star Wars in that sort of that angle from the cockpit of the Falcon. So yeah, beautiful work by him.
Alrighty, and these pieces are both available also as a giveaway. And last but not least is also a great one, and it's been a person that I really, really wanted on for a long time, but it didn't happen yet, which is Dan Mumford, and AMP has also given out his Pet Cemetery. I think I have it somewhere in my flat file, but the Pet Cemetery is amazing. I think it's the glow-in-the-dark version that we are getting, so it's gonna be really scary for a couple people. So. Looking at that, it's a really cool piece. Gives out the Pet Cemetery vibe, and it's I think it was for the when was it 88 or 89 show or something like that. I think it was one of the 30 by 30 shows they had, and it's a very cool piece in the typical Dan Mumford style, which you can recognize right away when you look at this one. Anybody want to chime in on that? I mean, James, Hobson and Kier, you guys worked with Dan before, so how about you let us know a little bit something about Dan while I'll try to grab the print.
Yeah, thinking about Dan's sort of horror movie stuff that he's done, like with I know he did a lot for Gallery 1988, didn't he, of those like horror films and what have you. It's kind of like he's managed to combine two of his kind of typical styles and combine them together with the glow in the dark aspect of it. I mean, I think it's a brilliant poster, but I've never seen or read anything Pet Sematary. But yeah, it was a bit of a
I saw the
fun one,
remake. That
yeah,
came
when
out.
it was on AMP, it was available for quite a while. It's gone now, but I remember thinking like people should be picking this up. Like, yeah, it has sold out now, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
Dan's
yeah.
Dan's a really. I mean, Dan was one of those artists when I started collecting, probably about 7 or 8 years ago. That was around a huge following, and his artwork is so uniquely Dan Mumford, and it's brilliant. So you've got I've got his Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 steelbook covers. I mean, it's secret that I'm a massive Ghostbusters fan. And you see one of those kind of mainstays of it's what may have been mentioned once, twice, and it's kind of when I see his work, it reminds me that oh shit, I need to reach out to Dan and see what he wants to work with and work on again, because we've met other times as well because we're mutual friends, and he's a really lovely bloke as well, which is always nice. And he's just really to add to what Keir said, I think. You look at his Stormtroop piece, and I think there's kind of his Stormtroop piece, which you can step through Moor Art Gallery, I believe, is quite nice because it's a little bit more pared back Dan Mumford, and I kind of like that because it brings to the fore some of the stuff that he's really good at, which is kind of make really nice dynamic character pieces. In fact, I need to probably pick one of those Stormtrooper ones. I do like that.
And the fun fact is, we had on air when we were talking about it, James and I, we realized what Squadron 413 stands for. James wasn't aware, Mr. Art Director. James, you want to talk about that?
The piece is called Squadron 413. Even now, I've confused myself. You've put me on the spot.
So I don't get the reference. I'm sorry. Am I missing?
I don't think it's a reference, is it? I think it's meant to be his name in some form.
It's D and M. That's the letters. D and M. The 4th letter of the alphabet and the 13th letter of the alphabet.
Yeah. So maybe James, I could send you one, and then you could maybe send me a Florey Joe's, or I don't know, like a Jurassic Park like variant or something. I think that'd be a fair trade.
Drop me a message here, and we'll sort something out.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, with
That's
the Dan
works,
thing, because Dan like sent it through, and he said he was like, haven't really got any ideas for the name, so I thought maybe I'll do the 413. To represent the letters in my name, and I just thought it meant like, well, 4 sort of looked like a D, and then if you put 3 on the side, it's like an M. So forever, I thought, yeah, that's really cool, that's really clever, well done. And then that's exactly how I thought it was, or until Tom pointed out, no, it's the number of the letters of the alphabet. Such an idiot. I'm glad I didn't do like a social media post about, and look, there's a special Easter egg when you turn the 4 around, it looks like a D.
Oh, don't worry. It's something I do, James is saying. That's the thing, though. Like, completely changing the subject. Blog posts. I think doing posts and social media posts is one of the hardest things to do, because because again, not an art direct that very much handles that side of it, but I kind of make sure that things are on the website, and we kind of do the releases. We have shared responsibilities. And it's what can I say about a print without unintentionally offending either the artist or who it's like, no, I didn't mean that, or what the hell are they on about? It's I think one of the unstated challenge of running a gallery is what hell do you write on the blogs?
Absolutely. I reckon it must be difficult for you, James, if you were to say this is the definitive Jurassic Park poster. And that undermines everyone that's ever been. And also, I'll use that line again on the next one and the next one. But it's like, well, no, you're really excited about this one that's right in front of you right now. But
Yeah.
it's really hard
But
work.
what though? One thing I haven't is what you have to appreciate with some posters is the definitive poster already is the definitive Jurassic Park poster is the physical poster. There's nothing. I remember having a conversation with Justin Brat at Mondo about this, and we were on about Jurassic Park posters, and we were kind of fan casting, I think, what artists would want to do it and what we kind of like. And there are amazing Jurassic Park posters, and I'm always been away with what artists do. But I think the definitive one is definitely still the original logo, what they did for the actual release. But and I think from an artist perspective, once you realise, you kind of take the pressure off yourself in terms of trying to beat that kind of thing. The same with the Jaws original theatrical poster. That's the definitive poster. It's kind of like, okay, well, that's off. What can I do? How can I do something cool and unique and things along those lines? And it's that's just a bit of a tangent, but it can be tricky.
Indeed, it could.
We got all the way here from a Pet Cemetery poster. That's
yeah, sorry, we're talking about that.
That's totally fine. I mean, it was little short notice on Simon's part, so I didn't know that he was offering that as well, and that's why I couldn't ask Dan, because I tried to ask all the guys that had something to give away that they would be on. So that's something really nice of him. So yeah, but good talking about all the cool art that I can give away for this first year giveaway. I asked some more people, obviously, and I will do some for the second year anniversary. So there's some stuff coming in the future, people, and other galleries said that they will join in as well for next year. So I can't wait to have another year with you guys, and especially with all my friends that have come on the show tonight. They are most of the guys except Ken. I just met him before in person, but we didn't have the contact there. But that was really, really good to actually meet him. And yeah, so more to come in the future, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming on, and it's been a real pleasure. And now, before I let you go, you guys can say a couple final words, each of you, if you want to. We're going to start with James Hobson. James, you need to unmute your microphone, my friend. No, no.
Ever the professional.
Oh, I said my final words and my mic was muted, I'm afraid. So I don't know. Thanks very much, Tom. Like I mean I see you more than I want to, really. So no. you know I think you do a great job and all that. Exactly, yeah. Like great stuff. No, it's been really fun actually doing this. It's been the closest thing to sort of like meeting up with the poster peeps, that would come from all four corners of the United Kingdom, heading up a convention. So yeah, it's been lovely. And
perfect. Thank you so much, James.
There you go.
People, by the way, you can shout out before you leave the cast. Shout out, what are you looking for in the giveaway? What's your favorite thing that you really want to win? Just to put it in the chat there. Yeah, James Henshaw. Some final words.
Just to reiterate what Mr. Hobson said, I just want to say thank you to Tom for putting the effort that you do into this, into your cast, and also into helping out with our open channel as well, which we can subscribe to by heading over to vice-press.com/open. But no, seriously, thank you very much. And equally to all of the artists, galleries out there and collectors and things like that. We do this because we love the movie, the posters, and everything along those lines. So it's very much a community, and we are very much looking forward to getting back to doing face-to-face events.
Very good. Thank you so much. Doaly.
Yeah, iterating on what the guys said, but also on a personal level, thank you for all the support over the last year through the different like podcasts, the different interviews, and the different like release podcasts and so forth. It's been great. It's definitely brought the community together. There's people I've spoken to for the first time, like via these chats, and it's because of like Drop Mag and so forth. So it's been great to have like a central thing for the whole community, whether you're in the UK or the US. So it's great from that point of view. And also, I just want to finish off with just saying, screw Matt Griffin and his Dune poster, and I beat him. And that's what
fair and square.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of things that you are going to release, I mean, Doaly and I, we did a podcast around December, and there is some porcelain stuff still didn't happen.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's like it's one of the things, like finding the right time for it now, because it's like as a property thing, it's like you've kind of like the peak's kind of gone. So it's still something that we like, me and Bottleneck still want to do.
Yeah.
But we will do it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've still got, I think, possibly somewhere a prototype lying around. So if no one else, I've still got one, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
But we will still do it. It's definitely it's in the works.
I still have the podcast, people. So if that's gonna drop, I'm just gonna drop the podcast right away because it's done. It's in we recorded all of it. Kier, you're last but not least, but let's hear your words.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I have to say just thanks to you, Tom, as well, just for doing the podcast, because, yeah, I mean, I'm not hooked to the Facebook groups. I know there's a lot of like information that comes from those, and then I always know that it'll probably be condensed on your podcast, and that's always a great place to kind of get all the information. So that's always really entertaining. And also, we launched our gallery with you last September. Yeah, that was so that was a huge deal for us. So we really appreciated that. Yeah. And it's always entertaining just having all these different perspectives from artists that you get on the show. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Amp Jam 2021, and also meeting everybody at the end of the year at Thought Bubble as well. All being well, that's going to be crazy, because I've never met anybody outside of my laptop, if that makes sense.
I have to say, I mean, I've heard your podcast before, because Kier's also doing a podcast, Moor Art, so that's really great. Check that out as well. Not as frequently as I do it, but he's doing them. Those are one of the first ones about posters that I heard, and this gave me the idea, just hey, I can do one as well, and this is basically all started. So you got me inspired of doing this, so that was really good. And the weird thing, since you talked about different meeting different people, the only person I have personally met was Ken Harman tonight, which was the first time on this podcast, but it was just the funniest thing. I was this was one of my first experience going to Bottleneck in person, and going to the Hashimoto Contemporary and meeting Ken. Those are the first things that I did in this poster world, so that was really nice to see. And so thank you guys again for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and we'll have future interviews. I mean, you will see the people around, and podcast or video podcast, all the formats will be covered. So check back for that as well. And thank you everybody for coming out tonight and sharing my anniversary with me. And check out the giveaway. It's gonna be live from the podcast tomorrow. There will be a post on Instagram, at DropMagOfficial. Head over there. Do some commenting and other stuff that is recommended to do to actually win something. It will be all in the post. I will post it tomorrow evening, UK time. And then we will have a week from now at the same time, there will be the giveaway draw at 7 p.m. GMT. So you have to be in the chat, in the video, in the stream to actually win something. So tune in for that, and we will get you sorted, and hopefully you win something. So Yeah, and also Gareth is just asking Amp Jam 2021. I worked with them last year as well, so check them out, and I might be on Amp Jam as well. So in the future, guys. Thank you everybody for coming out. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully, to win something. Stay tuned. Bye bye.